channel.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Happy holidays to
Also, I
all
think
of
a
you.
StreamYard glitched for me when I was trying to do the countdown.
No, it moved down. That's what happened. It was the top video and then it
Yeah.
moved down and you clicked on the wrong video. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, it was like
Um,
glitched for me. It was weird.
I'm not sure what happened there, but what I do know is that we are here. I'm moving it back up. What I do know is that we are here for the next episode of A Conversation with Kely. We are very festive because we are, of
Woo!
course, talking about something Christmas related. So that's very
Yes,
exciting.
also this shirt just came in the mail for me today. I got it on
Yes.
Amazon, so I'm very happy.
Yes, we do love the joys of Amazon.
We
But
do.
yes, we are here, of course, for the next episode. But before we do get into all of that, here are my lovely co-host Allie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I had a pretty chill day for my second day off. Just went to see my grandpa, but other than that, I just kind of just chilled at home, went for a walk with Magoo, and also one of your presents came for me, which is this new pink microphone.
Yes, I was gonna say your audio is sounding a bit crisper than usual. I don't know. I think maybe there's something a little different going on there. So, but yes, in all seriousness, I did buy her a microphone because she bought one a while ago. It really wasn't the best, and I want to
Yeah,
get her one that was actually like really good, had really good sound quality. So that is why. Not to pat myself on the back, but we do love that.
it's so
But
good.
we're not here to talk about our Christmas presents that we received. Even though I did receive this box that had a Fungo Pop in it, but now it doesn't because I put the Fungo Pop on the shelf. But yeah, we are of course here to talk about Big Brother. Once again, we just can't stop talking about fucking Big Brother. Once again, we have another season to talk about. We are here, the reindeer games are here, and because of that, we're festive. You know, we're with them wearing those Christmas sweaters. This is the only Christmas sweater I have. It's Rick and Morty themed. So that's cool. Fun fact
Also,
about how
I'm festive with my lights too. My
Yes,
headboard.
fun fact about how I got this sweater. It's actually really funny. I needed a holiday sweater for like a party for film club in college, and we were going like a bowling party, and I needed a holiday sweater, and so I bought this. Like that's
Love
literally
it.
why I have this sweater. And if you've noticed, if you watch my channel, every time I do a Christmas review, I wear this sweater. So I stay very on brand when it comes to that shit. But again, we're not here to talk about that. We are here, of course, to talk about reindeer games, which going into it, we did not have very high expectations for. I will say right off the bat, I had zero interest of watching the show just based on the way it was pitched. The way this was pitched was comps all the time. It was just going to be comps. There wasn't going to be anything else to it. And after the season, we just bless you. After the
Thank you.
season we just had that was so defined by these overly physical comps and so many of the same people winning over and over again. The last thing I wanted to see was a game that was literally just comps. You don't have any strategy, nothing social to it. So I really didn't even know if we were going to have much to talk about. And I really just did not have a lot of anticipation going into it. Again, just because of the way things were promoted, even when they were revealing the cast, which I will say, really great cast, like all around. This is a great crop of players they have gotten for sure. The reason that I wasn't like that enthusiastic about Let's doing a cast assessment or anything like that, because it's like, I mean, this is all gonna be comps. Like, what is there to even
Yeah.
talk about? But lo and behold, this was actually really great. Not gonna
Oh
lie. I
yeah.
thought this was such a strong premiere, so different than what they said it was going to be. This is not just comps all the time. This is actually a completely different game, has genuine strategy, has a lot of social, has a huge social component to it. This is not at all what they've said it was going to be. Yes, a lot of it is determined by comps, but it is not at all just a comp-based game. There's a lot more going on beyond that. And in my opinion, like, this is the best Big Brother we have seen in a very long time. If they're able to keep up the momentum of what we have here, I mean, this could be a really great season and really just kind of
Oh yeah.
reminds us how great Big Brother can be when things are just like fair and equitable. Like I really love this a lot. But
Yeah, and
what were your
also like
expectations going into this, and then what did you overall think?
yeah, I honestly didn't really I had very low expectations going into it
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
Just because yeah, it's all comps and I thought and like I thought it would just be like very like boring, very simple. But
Yeah.
honestly, like yeah, because obviously I couldn't watch it live yesterday because I was looking at Christmas lights and going to the mall with my bestie. But
Yeah, we were supposed to do a live stream for it, and I wish we did because there's so much
but
to talk about.
I know, but, I mean, at least with this, we can actually say more.
Yeah.
Um, so but, yeah, this show actually has, like, more strategy to it and more social aspects too, and the comps are very fair. Um, and, like, honestly, just for being 6 episodes, I kinda like this because like, we get a lot in 90 minutes, and also, um, honestly, just 9 people is kind of a perfect amount, honestly, and
It also well,
they really
it
should do
also
they should do this more often.
yeah, like I think this is honestly a really great format. I really like this a lot. I think there's a lot that they can really do with this moving forward. I also think that like what works so well about this, and other people have talked about this, and I agree, it's like it's so quick, and it's basically like you're watching a whole week of Big Brother in one episode. Like that's basically what this is. There's different things going on, but it's all like truncated. It's all very quick, and you would think that would mean it's rushed, but it feels just kind of right. A lot of the time, Big Brother weeks can drag out, and when you don't have that like time to talk about so much, it actually feels like there's a lot more that we can talk about. There's a lot, there's a lot more time just focused on the bare essentials. Another worry I had going into this was that, oh, there's no live feeds, so there's nothing to really talk about. But I think with this, it really does end up working out because they really just kind of trim the fat and give you what you need. And I think because of that, I mean, this was just such a great start. I'm so excited to just jump right into it. So we're going to start off here talking about the beginning of this and right off the bat, I mean, we knew this was going to be something very different. We see Santa, basically the Big Brother announcer. It's double eviction night, baby himself. He's right there in all his glory, and he starts out by saying the ornaments are hung, the presents are wrapped, the cocoa's steaming hot, everything's ready at Santa's lodge because it's not the Big Brother house. This is Santa's lodge. Don't get it
Mhm.
twisted. This is not
It's
a
very
house. This is
different.
a lodge. There's not even beds for them to sleep in. They literally just stand. Um,
Yep.
so 'twas 2 weeks before Christmas, and in the North Pole, the pressure was mounting. It was taking a toll. Poor Saint Nick was pulled in every which way, but he needed to focus on his yearly big day. Santa Lodge has had some issues. The village is a mess. The forest had problems. The workshop was stressed. While watching Big Brother on his Paramount Plus subscription, he got an idea to fix the affliction. I feel like I'm doing Nord comp right now, reciting a poem. But in the wink of an eye, before things could get worse, he twinkled his nose and opened the multiverse. Using his magic and old-fashioned reason, he recruited BB Legends to help save the season. So he made a deal with these iconic names, a chance to compete in his Reindeer games. And then we get this really cool and very unique intro with the cast as animation. And this
Yeah.
was just so refreshing. The thing I
I
noticed
love it.
immediately, Allie, the difference between the lack of just effort that they put into BB25 with this, I mean, there's already so much more production. There's so much more of an effort to make this feel and look different. I mean, they really just are going all out with this. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
kind of makes me
Like
feel like an, what were you going to
yeah,
say?
it kinda gives vibes of, like oh, not the echo.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
It's on my end.
Oh,
I took off okay. Oh, I tried to take echo cancellation off. Is that better?
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I
yeah,
don't hear anything.
that's better, I think.
Oh,
Um
now I hear it. Put echo cancellation back on because I hear my voice now.
Okay.
Hello?
I guess I'll just
Okay, it's
deal with
gone.
it. I mean, I can just deal with it, it's fine.
Oh,
Um
it's on my end.
oh, it is?
Yeah, because I have echo cancellation off.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay,
much
that's what
better.
was doing it.
Alright, so yeah, what I was gonna say is that them as animation, it just kinda gives, like, it kinda gives Charlie Brown Christmas vibes,
Yeah.
and it's just, like,
Well,
very creative and fun.
yeah. Well, I
Happy
said this
Snowflake
on Twitter,
vibes.
and I can't. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I just said adds a special touch.
Well, I said this on Twitter, and I can't confirm this for sure. To me, it feels like this was the season they wanted to put effort into. Like, this is like, I don't know if this is true, but if you remember, there were like a lot of rumors about BB25 being like an all legends season, and they were going to get all these people back and things like that. I
Yeah.
would not be surprised if they wanted to do it with this cast and then they said, no, we'll only do it if it's not like, regular Big Brother format. So they
Yeah.
compromised and did this because it just feels like they are putting so much more effort and so much more of a unique spin
Mhm.
into this than they have in years. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
crazy to me because you look at BB25, it was supposed to be their big celebration season. It feels more like this is their celebration
And
season, if
also, like,
anything. Like
it's also because they only filmed it in 2 weeks too, which is, like, a great amount for that, you know?
Yeah, and the way they did this, they didn't live in the house. They did all the game stuff in the house, but anything that wasn't game, they went to a hotel and were sequestered
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
that's why you don't see beds or anything like that. But yeah, just in general, I thought this was just such a great start. But with
Oh,
that
yeah.
said, we're 11 minutes in. We haven't really talked any substance about this. Let's talk about the first player because, like I said, we didn't do a cast
Alright.
assessment for this because I didn't care to. So let's talk about the first person that's revealed.
Alright, so I'm using from my phone this time to read from
Yeah.
for so the first legend we see is the one and only Taylor Hale.
Oh, there she
She
is.
Yay! She says she's an entertainment journalist from Detroit, Michigan. She truly loves Christmas and the holiday season is so much fun. Good moods, hot cocoa everywhere, fantastic movies, fantastic music. She says it's like she's home again. On BB24, she was the first Black woman to win a regular season, and she was also the first person to ever win AFP in the same season.
Yes,
People
she
say
was.
she's Oh yeah. People say that she's evolved in the social strategy of Big Brother. So she's excited to see if she can dominate these reindeer games too. So she walks through the house and sings Jingle bells, this house smells almost just the same. Taylor's back and gonna grab another 100K. That was iconic.
That was so good.
So
Yeah, I
cute.
mean, listen, it's Taylor. I'm always excited to see Taylor, but I gotta say, I think out of everybody this season, she's the person that is playing the most different compared to what we've
Oh
seen
yeah.
before, and it's because of the fact that I think. And I heard somewhere that Taylor said that if she had a different cast on Big Brother 24, she would have played this like super villainous, like cutthroat game, but she never really got to play it. I feel
Mhm.
like she came into this game and she's playing the way that she wanted to play on her
Yeah.
season. And we can see that. I mean, she is just like ruling the house with an iron fist at the moment. And she's just killing it. Like she is playing so differently
Oh
compared to
yeah.
how she did on her season. But it's because she has a cast that actually is like willing to play with her. They're not just gonna
Yeah.
like constantly just like accuse her of things and say all these
Mhm.
microaggressions. Like this is actually a cast that respects her as an individual and as a player. And I think we're getting to see how Taylor functions on a cast that actually respects her.
Yeah, these people actually like her and actually wanna work with her and
Yeah.
see what she has to offer.
Yeah, and I'm just really liking what we're getting from her so far. We'll of
Me
course get
too.
into that in a little bit, but just really excited to see Taylor back. Um, Next person, though, I'm not so excited to see back. The next legend we see, let me just pull it up real quick, that we have here. Um, it is my favorite podcast, The Winner's Circle, Mr. Cody Calafiore himself, from BB16 and BB22. He says he currently lives in New Jersey. He's working in software sales. He recently got engaged to love his life, Christy, and their favorite. Yeah, Christy, their favorite thing to do during the holidays is just sit down on the couch and watch as many Christmas movies as possible. He's acted in a few Christmas movies, which I'm trying to figure out which ones he's talking about. But he said if anyone wants to check them out, he doesn't know where they can find them. He says he was a runner-up on BB16 and he won BB All Stars. He's ecstatic to be there in Santa's Lodge. He doesn't have any idea what he has in store for him, but he's hoping to come home with the grand prize once again. Taylor and Cody hug each other. She says she's happy to see him. Taylor says that Cody's known for winning challenges and broing in these games. And if there's anything that her sweater's showing, she's there to crack some nuts. The guys have got to go real fast. And this just showed me like Taylor is like going to just play such a different game this season. She's going to be so much more of this villain of sorts. And it's going to be so great to watch. Because I think we can call her a villain. Like just based on these 2 episodes, I think we can absolutely call Taylor a villain. And I think she's really killing it. Cody tells her he's there to have some fun. Thoughts on Cody being back?
I mean, I don't hate him per se, but I don't love him either. Like, fine. I mean, makes sense he's there in a way, but like he also is just kind of like, I'm just like, I'm very hit or miss with him, honestly. Like, he's definitely someone I'm not like truly rooting for, but he hasn't been like awful.
No.
He hasn't done anything terrible. He's just not my favorite or anything.
But we also don't have feeds.
Also, I will say, I do have his movie, What Happened Last Night.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I will not be watching that anytime soon, but if you want to watch it, there you go.
I have the DVD somewhere.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What happened last night? What is that?
What else was in it? Oh yeah, one guy, the guy who played Ethan on Lizzie McGuire is also in it.
Oh yeah, Cody is in that. What the hell? That's so weird. But anyway, yeah, Cody, listen, it makes sense why he's there. Obviously, he's a comp beast. He, won All-Stars, but, just not someone I'm very excited to see these days, especially things he said on his podcast recently just really pissed me off. I will say Taylor being there is very funny, considering that he very recently said on his podcast, like, she didn't deserve the win. She didn't really play the game that much. He didn't really feel like she was that impressive of a winner. So like seeing her there immediately and like just the fear in Cody's eyes was just really fun to watch. And I knew it was going to be like a really fun dynamic, like watching those two. Cause I mean, I'm sure Taylor has watched that. She's, watched so many more like Big Brother podcasts. She's really studied up and like watched the show. Cause if you remember her season, she was a recruit. She didn't really know Big Brother, but now she watches it like religiously pretty much. She's become this entertainment news, reporter for Big Brother. And again, Cody being there, kind of sucks.
Cody's saying, we do not stand anything he said about her.
No, we don't say anything he said about the majority of the BB25 casts either. But I digress. When Cody was announced, I was like, oh fuck, he's probably gonna win out. Because I thought again it was all going to be comps, but knowing what this was actually going to be had me a little bit more intrigued. So yeah, Cody's there. I get why he's there. Not happy he's there, but it is what it is. So we do move on, though, to the person that I think is definitely one of the people we're most excited to see back that Allie's going to talk about.
All right. The next legend we see is Britney Haynes from BB12 and 14.
Yes.
She says she lives in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's a mom of 3 girls, and she's a real estate agent. Though people may not generally associate her with cheer, joy, and merriment, she actually does love Christmas. She loves the decor, and it feels warm, and she likes the way it smells.
Mm-hmm.
She meets Cody and Taylor tells them it's like Christmas chewed them up, spat them out, and vomited on them on top of it. That was funny. Britney says she was on BB12 and was voted AFP. Then she returned for season 14 as a coach. She's been humiliated time and time again on TV, and she feels very strongly that it's her fate in this program as well. It's already started as she grabs onto her sweater. That was funny.
Yeah.
So Britney asks them if they feel like they're about to meet Mall Santa, which Cody agrees, and Taylor asks if he can be hot. He's so good.
I know you have a lot to say about Britney being back, so go right ahead.
Oh yeah. When I watched 12, I didn't actually watch that season live, but I watched it online. But it was honestly a very good season to watch, and she was definitely one of my favorites. It was like her and Rachel. And she's just so funny. She just gives like main character energy. Like her DRs are just fantastic. They're hilarious. And she just has the best one-liners, and she's such a fun player. And she honestly, like, I'm so happy she's back because it's so like it's so great just watching her play again. I adore her.
Yeah, I mean, how rare is it to say that like Britney is back on Big Brother? Like that's crazy. I think a lot of people always said like she's probably not going to do Big Brother again. She's moved on from it. But I think once we saw her in that ad, like in that thing with Danielle Reyes and Frankie, there was kind of a glimmer of hope that maybe she'll do something Big Brother related again. And the fact that she's actually here and she's on the show and she's playing, she's not just there doing some stupid skit that they're going to show to the other house
Mhm.
guests. It's just a joy to see. And I will say she is absolutely living up to all the expectations we had for her. I think, honestly, we've forgotten just how great she is at the DRs, how much life and just realness she brings to the game. I think her perspective on things has been kind of sorely lacking. Britney gives that vibe of just someone that doesn't want to act like she's a reality TV character. She wants to
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of be herself. She's always a realist in that way. She's
Yeah.
always kind of like calling out the ridiculousness. And I love seeing people like that because we see that so rare these days in reality TV. These days, it's mostly people that just want to be famous and things like that, or are just, really eccentric or out there. But Britney is the complete opposite of that. She has that vibe of someone that is just kind of herself. She's very blunt. She doesn't,
Yeah.
hold back in any way. And it's
She's
just
just
so great
very
to
yeah,
see.
she's just very feisty.
Yes, very much so. And I loved seeing her. 12's always gonna hold a special place in my heart because that was the first season I ever watched a Big Brother. And she
Oh,
was one
love
of
that.
the first people I ever got excited to see on the show. So yeah, just really happy to see her back. She's absolutely just living up to every possible expectation. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
definitely really great to see her again. And I think she's a potential winner pick, honestly. I think
Mhm.
with
I could
what
see
we've
it.
seen I think what we've seen from her on the show so far, she absolutely could win this game. I think she has a lot of potential in her. So yeah, I
Mhm.
really have been loving what we've been getting from Britney so far. We move on though to the next person that is introduced. I guess once again, you talk about all the girls, I talk about all the guys. That's how it tends to go with these, even though
So
it's not.
funny.
Yeah. But the next person introduced here is no stranger to Big Brother because, well, he literally played Big Brother 3 years ago, 2 years ago. The next legend we have is Xavier from Big Brother 23. He says he's a lawyer currently living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Recently had the best day of his life when he asked the love of his life to marry him, and this will be their first Christmas together as an engaged couple. He's really looking forward to it. And for Big Brother, he's known for being the first He's known for being the first Black winner in BBUS history. He's hoping to be the first ever winner of the BB Reindeer games. So he walks down the stairs to meet everyone else, asks if some festive people ask for a bald man to enter the house. He says he's very curious to see who's going to be there and if he knows them or doesn't know them. Taylor tells him that she's such a fan. It's nice to meet him. And it is really cool for Xavier and Taylor to meet up because we
Oh,
know
yeah.
how supportive the cookout was towards Taylor on her
Also,
season.
I
Um,
remember I think it was at the BB24 finale too, the cookout was wearing blue for Taylor.
Yeah, they were. They were. But Xavier says it's cool to see Taylor. They both made history in their seasons for the Black community. They're both from Michigan, so it's nice to see a familiar face in Santa's Lodge. So those two are going to stay closely together. I don't know about Xavier. I will say, love Xavier. Loved him on
Oh,
his
yeah.
season. I think he is, a beast at comps and things like that. He's very nice guy, very fun personality. I don't know if he fits into this cast. Just what we've seen based on this first episode, I feel like we're really seeing had a very easy time on Big Brother 23. And I said this when he won. Like, while I think, yes, his win was, I'm never going to discredit anybody's win. I do think his win wasn't that impressive because he didn't have
Yeah.
that tough of a road. Everyone just really liked him. He vibed with people. They saw him as just someone that was really fun. He was able to win out. He was able to put himself in a really good position. Whereas this time, I feel like he has to do a lot more. And I think we're seeing that, like, social game wise, he's not that great. He's really not that great. And I
No.
think he's very much lacking in that field, especially on this season. I think he's having a hard time kind of adapting to the format. And I just don't know how long Xavier is for in this game.
Yeah, like, love him as a person, and I'm so happy he's back.
Oh yeah.
Um, and he is a great player, like,
Yeah. And I mean,
but yeah,
he won so many comps this season, and he had
yeah.
such a great arc. Like, they'd be
Oh,
stupid.
yeah.
Like, it makes perfect sense why he's back.
Oh, yeah, but socially, he's definitely not that great. He just gives, like, the collateral damage kind of thing, kind of gameplay this season where he just keeps going up, and then but then they just kinda get and then they just kinda go for him as collateral damage, like, love him, just and hopefully maybe he can improve, but, like, yeah, so far he's just hasn't been having the best, um, gameplay at all, like, socially.
I mean, I think it is good to be someone that they always like want to put you up and things like they always want to like put you head to head against somebody, but it's bad when you go against that, it's risky because you go against the wrong person, you end up going out. So, we'll have to see how things really do go for Xavier. But very excited to see him. Always enjoy watching him, and we'll see how he ends up going. The next person we're talking about, however, probably is the person everyone's the most excited about, and deservingly so. And Ali has the honor of talking about this absolute legend.
All right, the next legend we see is Danielle Reyes from
Hell
BB3,
yeah.
BB3 and 7. She says, if you don't know by looking at her, she's a grandmother of 5 adorable kids. She loves spoiling those kids during the holidays, but when it comes to playing games, she'd rather be the villain. I mean, as she should.
Yeah.
Villains have more fun.
Yes.
She was on BB3, which she says she should have won. Yes, she should have. But then she played again in All Stars. She meets everyone, and Britney tells them she feels like they have a real sweater contest. Danielle says this new game is supposed to be holly and jolly, but if you know her, she's going to be putting a lot of coals in a lot of people's stockings.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say right off the bat, I've never seen Danielle play. I never watched Big Brother 3. I haven't watched Big Brother 7. But
it was a good one.
So many people for years have been talking about just how much of a legend she is, how she's one of the best to never win. She's just one of the best players in general. And she was also, I think, the number one person everybody wanted to see come back for All Stars and didn't, and knew that she would be down to do it. And then she didn't. And it was just, were we ever going to see Danielle Reyes again? Was it ever going to happen? And again, when we saw that video, I think that gave us hope that it might happen. And now here she is. And I just got to say, just from this first episode, I get the hype. She's so great to watch. I love how under the radar she is already, where she's kind of just coming across as someone who is just there to be friends with people. She seems like, she's just there to have fun, but she has this very, gives that like sort of, she gives that very sort of, cutthroat energy, that silent killer of sorts. And she just masters that so well. And I just love what we are getting from her. I'm so excited to see her back. And I think she's just going to absolutely kill it on this season. And again, just the fact we get to see Danielle Reyes again is just incredible, because people have been talking about for years, are we ever going to see her again? And the fact that we actually get to is just something that we absolutely should not take for granted. Like, yes, it might not be Big Brother proper, but I guarantee you right now, if Danielle wins this season, I think we have to count it as Big Brother because she's never won before, and this would be the time she actually wins. So yeah, I mean,
she's absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited for the rest of the season. And like, if she wins, that's so iconic. And I mean, she literally should have won BB3.
She would have if, the jury wasn't bitter as hell, but yeah.
I think it was based on jury management. They thought Lisa did better, but she did
also
not.
Because back then the jury wasn't sequestered. So, it was like a completely different type of deal. But yeah, either way, so excited to see Danielle back and can't wait to see how she just kills this season. The next person, though, I'm not as excited to see come back here. So we talked about, 2 of the people that were in that stupid video that kicked off this season. We have to talk about the third person. Frankie Grande is back, the next legend. He's the star of stage and screen. He loves Christmas as well as his whole family. They go Grande at Christmas. So funny. He says he's from BB16 here on Reindeer Games. He knows he's going to slay whatever Santa has in store for them. He always shines bright like a Frankie. Oh, yay. My favorite thing to do. So buckle up, because he's about to light up Santa's lodge. He meets everyone. He tells Cody they're back in the house together. Frankie says that Cody's there. He's so excited because he's a good friend. They went pretty far together in BB, but Reindeer Games is a totally different game, so he's unsure what that means for him. But he'll take all the friends he can get, and I'll just start off with this one. Listen, Frankie, game-wise, great. Very good strategist,
Oh, yeah.
very good at the game physically. I think,
Yeah.
honestly, if you look back at BB16, he was the person that could have beaten Derek. He was really the only person left that could have beaten him. He had a very good chance of winning the game and things like that. But just personality-wise, I've never been a fan of him. He's just way too over the top. He's just way too obnoxious in that way. I've really never been a big fan of his. He really annoyed me in BB16. I don't get too excited to see many people back from BB16, and he's one of the people that I'm like least excited to see. I will say so far here, he's not as annoying. I'm still not the hugest fan of him, and I do actually think he has a really good chance of getting far, even potentially winning this season, because he is very good at comps and things like that. And he's also very good strategically and socially. I think he's already kind of like setting himself up very well. But just overall, I'm not the biggest fan of him.
Yeah, like, okay. In BB16, he was like, I really did enjoy him like preseason, obviously, because Ariana, and like I liked him at the beginning, but he's just so obnoxious.
Or you still love him because of Ariana?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then he was just so obnoxious. He said some shitty things too. But like so far he hasn't been terrible. Like, I mean obviously I don't want him to win, but
No,
I could see him out of the men. I think he's probably gonna go the farthest based on his comps and such. But
also I think just the edit he's had, I feel like he's gonna go far.
I think so too. But I mean, yeah, he hasn't been as obnoxious, but he still definitely is. Like, come on, shine bright like a Frankie, really?
Yeah, why are we still doing that?
But like, I mean, I don't hate him, but I'm also not super excited that he's back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Frankie. We move on to the next person that I'm so excited to see back all the time. Always excited to see her. Allie's gonna talk about it.
All right. The next legend we see is Nicole Franzel from 16, 18, and 22. She's currently a stay-at-home mom with her 2-year-old son, Arrow, and she still lives in Nutley, Michigan. She ended up winning season 18, and she's married to a former BB house guest named Victor. This is her first time competing as a mom, and she's so excited to be there because she's basically competing at the North Pole, and her son is going to think it's so cool. And she meets everyone. She's so excited. Cody says he's played BB with Nicole twice before. The most recent time being All-Stars, where they went all the way to the end of the game, and in the final 3, he decided to eliminate her. He knows without a doubt she hasn't forgotten about what he did at the end of the season, so he definitely has to be on the lookout for her. She jokingly asks everyone, what is the 16? While she hugs him. That was funny.
I mean, literally, there's like 3 of them there. You see how much fucking Allison Grande is obsessed with Big Brother 16. Like, you see it. There's literally 3 of them there.
Yep. So while she hugs them, Nicole says she sees Cody and she hasn't spoken to him in 3 years since he evicted her on finale night, and they were so close. She honestly thought they were going to go to the final 2. So seeing him, she knows she just can't trust him this time.
Yeah. I know you have a lot to say about Nicole. So go right ahead.
Well, I've always been a fan of Nicole. Like, obviously, well, I didn't finish or watch all of 22. I stopped except for
you
the
didn't
finale.
miss much.
But I stopped except for the finale, of course. I didn't even watch the triple. But obviously, she's had a lot of things that I mean, like in that season, she's done things that I didn't like. But I have always been a fan of her. Like, outside of the game, she does seem like a genuine person. And I follow her on Instagram, and she always just has like fun things on there. And like I loved her on 16 and 18, of course, and 18 she deserved her win. But this time, like, I'm really impressed by her so far. She's really like owning her villain side, and seems like she's actually sticking with the women, which like we actually like the side of Nicole. So I'm like very happy with her. Like, it's a very huge improvement from 22. So I'm like I am very excited to see her back.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched me do Big Brother recaps before on my channel, you know that Nicole is someone that I'm not the biggest fan of these days. 16, I liked her a lot. I thought she was very quirky. I thought she was very
Yeah.
fun. I
Oh
really
yeah.
liked her. I feel like I liked her because she was like the underdog that season, and but she was like the underdog that could. Like she won comps. She knew what
Yes.
was going on. She had the right reads on things. She just wasn't able to do as much because of that, majority alliance. And we don't need to talk about 16. It's a terrible fucking season, super overrated. I think anyone that liked it at this point probably doesn't like it as much because of how much it kind of ruined modern Big Brother, but whatever. 18, I've come around to liking her more. I will say there were things on 18 I didn't love about her, but I think her win was definitely very deserving. I've definitely come around to appreciate her win and appreciate the way that she played. If you watch my 18 coverage, I think it was a little too harsh on her at points. 22, on the other hand, I really just did not like her at all for two reasons. One, I feel like her biggest issue has always been she plays this very cutthroat, villainous, snake-like game, but she doesn't want to own it. She's like, oh, I don't see myself that way. I don't understand why I'm viewed that way, but she doesn't own it. She plays that way every single time. If she doesn't want to be a villain, don't play like a villain, but she does play like a villain and she hasn't owned it. So that's bothered me. Two, I feel like she just has severely lacked self-awareness. Like she doesn't understand why people feel the way they do about her. She doesn't understand why others think the way they do. But it feels like in this, at least so far, she's looked at what people have said. She's taken those criticisms to heart. And she's actually now acknowledging the fact that, yeah, she's a villain. She's cutthroat. She doesn't really care anymore. And I'm actually liking her a lot more this season. If she continues to play the way that she is, I feel like I'm going to turn around on Nicole because I'm not disliking her so far. I love her hatred towards Cody, how much she wants him out of the game. It's so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
But so far, I am actually enjoying her on this season. I hope she
Yeah,
continues to.
this time she actually has like self-awareness and she's actually like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this revenge on him and all the men and
Yeah.
like yeah, she's actually like doing so much better.
Yeah, if she continues to play that way, then I will be very happy. If she starts going to the guys, that's going to start to annoy me because she does that literally every single time. But it does seem like she is making an effort to improve her gameplay this time around and show that she can play a little bit differently. And I think if she's able to, I will honestly become a much bigger fan of Nicole than I have been. So yeah, those are really my thoughts on Nicole. We'll move on to someone that I was very indifferent to seeing, but I got to say, I've really kind of come around to it. The next legend we see is someone that we have not seen in a very long time in the Big Brother sphere. If you watch the challenge, you've seen this person a lot, but Big Brother wise, we have not seen this person in a very long time. The next legend is BB19 winner Josh Martinez. Who, he jokes he didn't make the naughty list this year. He says Christmas time is his favorite time of year. Being Latino, he's always surrounded by his family. Just imagining 50 to 60 of them packed in a house playing dominoes, everybody screaming over each other. He just loves being with his family. He won season 19. He was best known for being the obnoxious, crazy Latino kid. He points to pots and pans, jokes he's going to put them to good use. He doesn't know what Santa has in store for them, but he hopes he's ready because he's about to be laughing all the way to the bank and he's securing this 100K. So he walks down the stairs, meets everyone while banging pots and pans. Britney says coming in there, she feels a physical inadequacy, being she's a very petite person. These people are large. Her gut instinct wants to go after big physical comp beasts. And I got to say, Josh is someone that I wasn't super excited to see. Listen, I enjoyed him winning BB19 to spite Paul because I didn't respect the way that Paul played that season. I didn't like Paul's jury management. There were a lot of things they did that season that I just was not happy about. And so seeing Josh win was really great. But I was never by any means a fan of Josh on Big Brother 19. I didn't really like the way he played a lot of the game. Yes, he was someone that had like good reads. Yes, he was someone that I think had good like jury management for the most part. But other than that, I wasn't really a big fan of him. I found him to be kind of just loud and obnoxious a lot of the time. I gotta say though, out of all the people coming back, he is the person that has changed the most. Like the Josh Martinez we are seeing on this season is completely different from the Josh Martinez we saw in 19. He is like complete, like he's so much more mellow and chill.
Oh yeah.
He also like he's working with the people like we are hoping he works with. I actually really am liking Josh this season. I think he honestly has a lot of potential. I would honestly say he's a dark horse in this game. I really think he is. I could absolutely see him making it far. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's doing the right things socially and strategically. I'm just really liking him so far. So yeah, Josh, I'm honestly very excited to see back. I think he has a lot of I think he has a lot of potential overall. But what do you think?
Oh yeah, I've always been like very indifferent with him. Like
Yeah.
19 was just a terrible season.
Yeah. There's very few people that I like on that season.
Like I'm not even a fan of like barely any of them at all.
No.
But
Honestly, yeah, at this point, I don't think there's anyone I really like except maybe like Dominique, probably.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but this honestly, yeah, I'm impressed by Josh. Like he's really like he's not he's like not even as obnoxious as he was. Like
No.
at times, obviously, but I think with the pots and pans things, he was just doing that as like a joke and just because he kind of had to. But I mean, yeah, he's really changed and really improved. So yeah, I can agree. He's definitely a dark horse for sure. I mean, I could see him winning. I could also see him just like maybe getting like second or third.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to watch him honestly this season, and he's probably honestly like him and Frankie are probably the two guys that'll definitely do the best.
Yeah, I mean, I could see an argument where he also goes the farthest because I think he's playing very well so far. It also kind of makes me like upset at the fact that he wasn't able to be on All Stars because I feel like if this is the Josh on All Stars, I mean, All Stars is completely different because Christmas isn't fucking there and he's there instead. And seeing what we're getting here, like it makes me that much more annoyed by the fact that Christmas was on 22, but I'm not here to talk about 22.
Hang on, you mean Arbor Day?
Yes, but you know what? Christmas is not here, and Josh is, so that's what matters.
True.
Christmas is not here for the Christmas themed Big Brother game, and that's all that
because
matters.
She doesn't have any like cheer and joy and stuff because she's a bitch.
Yeah, she's too racist for that. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the last person here that we're talking about. Which I'm so tired of talking about this person, but let's go ahead.
The last quote legend. To arrive is
very loosely, like that is a very loose definition at this point.
Is the recent BB25 AFP winner Cameron Hardin, who's from Eastman, Georgia, and he says Christmas is a magic time for him and his little girl because he loves being woken up by her on Christmas morning and seeing all the awesome stuff that Santa has brought her. He was just on the show earlier this year, so he's a newbie in this lodge. So he feels like a fan coming in here, and it's a little bit shaky, but no one has played this game before, so he feels they can all follow him. Even though these Big Brother legends may look at him as the rookie, they're all in the same sleigh together. So he meets everyone, and Frankie says they're the fine 9, and Taylor says they're the nasty 9.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say about Cameron at this point? Not a fan of him. I think the fact that he is on a season with legends is fucking ridiculous. I understand that he won AFP and things like that, but I mean, the guy literally got first juror. Like, let's not forget that. He literally was voted out of the game, came back in the game, and then he got out pretty much like immediately after. Like the fact that he's actually back, I think is so dumb. I think if there was anyone they brought, I think there were definitely a lot of other people they could have brought back from 25.
If they were gonna bring a comp piece, they should have just had Jag.
Heisem is who I would have picked.
I mean, Jag or Heisem.
I think Heisem would have been great with this cast. It's old. It's an older skewing cast for the most part. I think he fits in very well. He's very outspoken. I think he would have been great on this cast. That's who I would. Hell, imagine Felicia on this cast. That could have been great. I don't think Felicia will ever play Big Brother again, but it would have been cool to see her. Like, there's so many other people they could have gotten from 25. Why this guy? I just don't understand their obsession with Cameron. Like,
he's just so boring compared to the others.
Yeah, like he sticks out like a sore thumb on this cast. I knew he would. The second they said that it was probably going to be Cameron, I was just really annoyed. I was hoping it was going to be Heisem, but then Heisem said it wasn't him. So I was like, it's probably Cameron, and it is. And I'm so tired of talking about him. Like, I'm so tired of Cameron. We have literally been talking about Cameron, Ellie, since fucking August. Think about that. And we still have to talk about Cameron. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, that's the cast. Let's get into the actual episode.
All
So
right.
they're then all called to the living room by Santa, and then we get a little bit idea of how this is all going to work. So Santa tells them that Christmas is in danger of being canceled. Oh, why am I still showing Cameron? We've had enough of you, Cameron. Go away, go away. We've had enough of you. All right. So he says over the next 2 weeks, anytime there are problems at the North Pole, he needs them to step in and take care of them because Christmas depends on it. Unfortunately, he's only looking for the best of the best. So the one player who falls short every day will be sent home. As a reward for handling these Christmas catastrophes, the festive foursome left at the end will be invited to compete in the annual Reindeer Games, which means the finale is basically a Final Four. It's not Final Two. So they are a high-stakes head-to-head tournament where the winner will walk home of 25 billion North Pole tokens, which converts to 100K in US dollars. However, making it to the Reindeer Games will not be easy, so be prepared because the rules every day will be completely different, which I love, by the way. I love that idea, that it's not the same kind of game. It's not something that you can easily structure. Like, it's very unpredictable because sometimes they're going to be challenged as an individual, sometimes a duo, sometimes as a team. So he also lets them know the relationships and strategy they form are very important. And the second he said that, I was so fucking happy because I was really worried this was going to be comp-based. And that tells you right off the bat, it's not just comp-based. The strategy very much matters. So he talks about how they perform in these challenges is the most crucial element because whether they stay or go will always come down to whether they win or lose. So the question is, do they have the festive fortitude to help them save Christmas? And once they say yes, he will be sending in his elf ambassadors to guide them through this holly jolly journey. And Cam then gives confessional saying that it sounds like this game will be all about the challenges, proving he did not listen to a goddamn thing that Santa just said. Because all he heard was challenges. And luckily, he's a guy that loves to compete. So he's going to go out there trying to win every challenge that he can, including those Reindeer Games at the end, so he can snag the 100K. And he's just so cocky throughout this whole thing. He's like, I got this. I'm great at challenges. I know what I'm doing. I'm capable of this. It's like he's trying so hard to like show that he's this like comp legend when he's not even the person in his season that won the most comps. Like it's so stupid. So Josh talks about the difference between this game and regular Big Brother, with expect the unexpected being times 100. Normally, he loves Santa and is this guy's biggest friend, but he has no chill at all where they have no idea what to expect, and that's not a good feeling right off the bat. Taylor thinks that things are going to be crazy at the North Pole. She will need to find some allies to survive this crazy new game. So strategic Taylor is very much here, and we are very much here for that. So
I love it.
Britney talks to Danielle about how the entirety of season 16 is here. And yeah, she's not wrong. They explore the lodge a bit. Danielle says all the comp beasts have to go.
Yes.
So Josh then talks to Cody, Cam, and Nicole about how he doesn't know why they're all so calm. And Nicole says it's because she's shutting down her anxiety. It's crippling. And he says he hasn't been in the house in 6 years. Danielle says the way she sees it, the best people to target are the alpha males. There will be no friends in this game, only one winner. And we love that. We love that, especially after the season we just had. Yes, get the alpha males out. Do it immediately. Get them out of there. So Cody and Frankie go off on their own, then hug excitedly that they're playing together. Frankie says he and Cody are like little brothers. He's so excited to see him, and he's grateful that they're back together again. Cody says this whole thing is so weird again. Frankie says that they will have to strategize where he will work with the people that he works and Cody works his. Cody says that they will see how it goes, and Frankie says that he'll try his hardest to keep his name out of people's mouths, and he does the same, and they will see each other at the end. And Cody says that Santa already told them that in this game, they will all live or die by challenges. So that makes having Frankie here even more crucial, as he's, in his opinion, hands down, the best competitor that has ever played Big Brother, as if Michael and Janelle and Jag don't exist, but whatever.
Like, really?
And he says, knowing someone like that is on his side is so crucial. And I don't care about these two. I knew that these two were going to work closely together. I don't care about it. Let's just move on. I don't have anything to say about Cody and Frankie. Do you have anything to say about the amazing duo that is Cody and Frankie?
I mean, it's expected, but it's just so boring and so predictable.
Yeah, who cares? So Nicole talks about how the last time she was on Big... okay. So we get this moment with Nicole and Britney, and it was kind of awkward, not gonna lie. This is the one moment in the episode that feels like this was like heavily edited down to what was actually said because they didn't want to actually bring up what happened. So it's kind of an awkward conversation. But basically, they talk about some beef that they had on Twitter. Nicole talks about how her feelings were hurt a lot because she was one of her best friends. She doesn't want to think about it because she'll cry. And Nicole says the last time she was on BB All-Stars, Britney said some mean things that she had told her, that she had then told other people, put it all over, and it just hurt her feelings. And Nicole tells her that she felt like she thought she could go on in her life without her, and that's what hurt. And Britney says she wanted to talk to her about it because they were pretty close, and she had never held anything against her because she didn't do anything to her, always wished her well and wanted the best, and she knows she hurt her feelings. Nicole says that she forgives her. She hopes they can move forward and kind of start fresh. It's a Christmas miracle. They mended fences and will hopefully be working together in this game. I thought this was super awkward, this conversation. This is the kind of conversation that, like, I wish we had feeds. I wish we had feeds.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what this conversation was actually about. I wanted to see how Britney felt about it because we really only got to see Nicole's perspective. Britney's perspective was just, I want to address this and move on. I don't want this to take over the game and things like that, which I totally understand. You know, when you have
I wish there was.
situations.
That would have been iconic if there were feeds. It would have been so good.
It's kind of hard. I also understand it's hard to do feeds with this format because they're not in the house all the time. They leave the house after every round. So it kind of is hard to do feeds. Like what? You would just show like cats and dogs at night? Like what do you do there?
Probably, or just show like a Big Brother season or something.
Yeah, that would have been cool. They could have done that. You know, it could have been like, you know, if you want to, you know, watch a classic season, let's put on Big Brother 16. That's probably what they would have done because they're obsessed with Big Brother 16.
I will say I'm glad they mended fences and they're like getting through it. But like, I wish we got to actually see the whole conversation. And I mean, I'm here for this duo though. Like it's pretty iconic.
Me too.
Like I'm sure they'll stick together well.
Yeah, as far as I know what this is about, I think it has something to do with something Janelle said, and Britney like retweeted it, and you know we know how Janelle is with Nicole. You know, not a big fan of the way she talks to her.
I posted in a chat that apparently Nicole posted because of Janelle being petty. I guess Nicole posted on her Instagram story it's a meme of Taylor Swift saying trash takes itself out every single time.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, I thought. But it also could be in regards to Cody, because spoilers. But
but I mean, I don't think she like hates him. She just doesn't trust him.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I thought this was kind of an awkward conversation. I'm glad they moved forward, but it's probably the one moment in the episode where I'm like, we really could have used some more context as to what they were talking about because we don't even know what this discussion, like, as someone who was completely like just has not kept up with the drama going on with Nicole and Britney, I was like very confused as to what happened. I thought Nicole was on like Amazing Race or something at first. That's what I thought this was about. But then I realized, oh no, this is about something that happened on Twitter, and I just don't really care. So, like, I'm glad they mended fences, but again, I don't really have much to say. So, we then really kick off the strategy here with Taylor, who talks to Josh, and this was just great. She says she wants to work with him, and he says that he's on the same page. She asks who else he wants to see in the Final Four with him, and he mentions Xavier, and Danielle is where his heart is. She says she's down for it. And this is where I'll praise this episode for a little bit. This episode was 2 hours long, and I think it very much needed to be because everything felt so much more thorough. It's similar to Survivor 45, where it just felt like they did a really good job of showing us all the important stuff, getting us an idea of where everyone's head is at. I think by the end of this episode, we know where everyone is in the game. We know who everybody's working with. And I feel like they did a really good job with that. And it's moments like this that really kind of point to that. So we see Josh says it sounds like Santa's going to be throwing some curveballs and maybe some snowballs at all of them. So it's important for him to start forming relationships that he feels a good connection with. He instantly gravitates towards Taylor, and Xavier is just someone he wants to work with in this game. Then there's Danielle, who's untouchable, and whoever touches her will have to deal with him. So the four of them gets...
I could see Josh and Danielle being a really strong duo.
Oh, yeah. So the four of them get together. Josh says if he can help them all out, he will do it. Taylor says if there's any sort of like rally together and pile on person, it's never going to be any of the three of them. Xavier says he will see what's presented and then judge accordingly. And Xavier says they've all got a little something brewing in the hot cocoa room. He likes this foursome because they have a little bit of everything. He doesn't know if it's a solidified alliance, but they've definitely all made it clear they want to look out for each other. I feel like it's definitely legit. Like it seems like they're all protecting each other, unless your name is Danielle.
Yeah, it's like Danielle and Josh as a duo, and then X and Taylor, and then there's like Britney and Nicole.
I think Danielle is kind of one-sided because she says that we get this moment where she says that she's telling the three of them that she's got their backs, but it's a lie. She looks at them as big threats because they're all winners. She's got them as long as it benefits her game, but will cut them loose in a hot second. And even though it's a new game, she's still going to be up to her old naughty tricks. So she's very much not with that side, but she wants them to think that's what
I honestly would love to see her win a challenge because like it would be so unexpected what she does.
Well, I feel like her duo, or like her number one right now is Britney, just based on what we've seen. She's been the most like honest with her and things like that. So I feel like Britney is probably the person that she feels the best with. But after that, it's really like
Britney's duos are like Danielle and Nicole.
Yeah, but after Britney, it's really anyone's guess like where Danielle is aligned. But yeah, this is alliance that I'm very much into. We love all four of these people. I love seeing them working together. And I hope they're able to make it far.
Also, I will say we love the women in POCs sticking together.
Yes, we do. We very much do love that. But with that said, we get to the first of three competitions because we knew there were going to be three competitions in this episode. And at this point, I was very worried. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be, but I will say what this turned out to be was like way better than what I expected. So anyways, Allie, talk about the first comp, the naughty or nice comp.
Right. So this is the naughty or nice comp. They hear a doorbell and meet the first head elf, which is Jordan Lloyd from BB 11 and 13. She, of course, was the random. I will say I love Jordan, but it just seems like she just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say right off the bat, I don't understand why she's here. I feel like she just does not want to be there. She's just very much just reading off a script. It feels like they went to Jordan and offered her something, and she's like, okay, pay me like this amount of money for it, and then she did it. Like, it doesn't really seem like her heart is in this. It doesn't really seem like she cares about Big Brother anymore, and it just seems like she's kind of just here to be here.
Yeah, I think she's just like over it, and she's just like, I'm just focusing on my IRL stuff now.
Yeah, and I think I honestly, here's the thing, and this is just my speculation. I feel like if everyone didn't hate Jeff, they would have gotten Jeff because they're obsessed with Jeff. And because they couldn't get Jeff, they got Jordan. But the problem is Jordan's fucking terrible at hosting, and we see that here.
Yeah, she really is. She just love her, but she just doesn't have a hosting personality.
I mean, this is Jordan, the same person that like wasn't able to was confused about that said if she was an animal, she'd be like a squirrel or something like that. Like, this is not the most articulate person for this job. I just don't think she has it in her, and we really see it here.
I'll always love her though, just because 11 was the first season I actually saw.
Yeah, I've always liked Jordan, but this is not it. We hate Jeff, but Jordan's okay.
Yeah, Jeff is problematic. So she, of course, was the winner of BB 11 and met her husband Jeff on Big Brother, and they loved the holidays. They don't mention
his name, which I thought was really funny.
It's true. They love the holidays. Her kids are an age where they're obsessed with Santa, so when they find out she is working for him as an elf ambassador, they will go crazy. So she welcomes them all to Santa's lodge and reads them their first challenge in a very monotone and robotic tone.
Are you going to read in a robotic tone? It'd be funny if you did.
She tells them around this time of year people can be very naughty or nice around the holidays. That's why this first challenge of the day will be their naughty or nice challenge. Okay, that's enough of that.
Honestly, not robotic enough. It was very she literally, you would give her a piece of paper and it would be like, this is, you know what this was? This is like when you present something to the class and they're like, you can use no cards as a reference, but you don't want to read directly at them. Jordan goes up there to give the presentation and she's just reading directly off the paper. She was just kind of like not using it as a point of reference. She was kind of using it to kind of like hide her face and hide how she did and kind of like overcompensate. Like that's literally what she was doing. She just seems so uncomfortable. Like I don't know why they got her for this. She's so bad.
Oh yeah. So
Like,
she needs.
please bring in Tiffany and Derek X ASAP. This is so bad.
Maybe not Tiffany. She's kind of problematic now, or not
I don't
good.
like her these days, but yeah.
Maybe Derek X, yes.
Yes, he's a king.
So she needs their help with the hottest DJ in the North Pole, DJ Scroogey. He's being a little high maintenance and a bit naughty and refusing to perform at the lodge until someone can solve his riddle as she's leaving that challenge to them. They may have noticed some giant presents around the lodge. One at a time, they will open, revealing a clue to the title of DJ Scroogey's favorite holiday song. When they think they know the song, they are to ring the silver bell and make their official guess, but do it long, and first player to ring in and correctly name the title of the song has solved the riddle. As a thank you, she will reward the winner with a special power. Whatever that is will be revealed once one of them have won.
And I just have to say, where the fuck was this comp on BB25? Like,
Literally.
this is everything we've been talking about. It's like, you need to have comps that are equitable to everybody. And I will say right now, all the comps in this episode, and from what I've seen, we haven't watched the second episode yet, but we watched a little bit of it, have been equitable.
I didn't put it on yet. I only saw like clips that were on Twitter.
Yeah. These are not overly physical comps at all. Anybody can win. If you look at the cast so far, a different person has won every single comp, and it's because of the fact that they've all been very fair. And yes, you can have some physical stuff in there, but you have to then also have just as many non-physical things. And it seems like this season, they really are taking that to heart. And I'm just wondering again, like, did they care about BB25? Was this what they wanted to do all along? Because it feels like all the criticisms we've had, they're fixing in this season. So I'm just wondering, like, what the hell happened? Like, where were these comps on BB25? Like, just, can you imagine if we got this the week that Jag was like the HOH a second time? There's no way he would have won a second time if this was the comp. There's no way. There's no way. Or when Matt won that veto and it was the same thing, like, there's no way he gets that again. Like, this was so good. Please do this more. Like, I love this comp so much.
Oh, it's so good. Literally, like, this is the kind of thing we want, because everything, like, everyone has a chance, not just the big, strong men.
It's also a fun comp to watch. Like, I'm not checking out of this because it actually is, like, fun to watch, and, like, there's also actual, like, strategy.
Also, we love music challenges. They're always amazing and fun. So Cameron is unsure if he wants to win this so early based on the fact he doesn't know what it is, and it may raise such a clatter. Britney thinks whoever wins this will at least be given safety, so she feels she has to go for it.
Yep.
Danielle talks about how her and Britney aren't known for being physical, and so this challenge is one they can both excel in and want to help each other in figuring it out.
Fucking preach, Danielle. Fucking preach.
Another great duo.
Oh, yeah.
So after many different clue reveals, the first person to buzz in and correctly guess the song which is up on the housetop is Britney. She is then told her advantage is the naughty or nice power. As the winner, it will give her an advantage in the next challenge, which will be the Jingle Bell Brawl.
Not the ball. I'm not going to a dance.
Oh yeah, for sure. However, she will also have the responsibility of putting someone on the naughty list, giving them a disadvantage in the same challenge. When she hears the jingle bells ring, she will need to come to the living room and announce her advantage.
Yes. Oh, also smile for streaks real quick. There we go. I just need to get it done.
We love you doing streaks on our podcast.
I know, it's great.
So Cody doesn't love this, knowing this could be devastating to his game. He's known for winning All-Stars and knows he will be a target, and not having a relationship with Britney could be a problem for him. And then Cam feels good with Britney, but being the good new guy in town, he never knows what could happen.
I love seeing Cody and Cam, like, vulnerable. I love it. It's so good.
Me too.
Give me more of this.
Oh, it's so good.
And again, it's because it's a comp that anybody could win. Like, the show's just so much better when the comps are equitable and fair and, fun
Exactly.
to watch.
Mhm.
And not just run across this and buzz in first.
Also, the next one is your part.
Oh, yeah, give me a second. I'm just doing streaks. But anything
Okay.
you want to say about this comp one more time?
Oh, I just really enjoyed this one, and I was so happy that Britney won it. Because
Yes.
like I know she said that she really wanted to. So I mean, I'm just so happy that she won this comp because it was like someone unexpected too.
Yeah, very much. I mean, I don't think anybody went into this thinking Britney would win the first comp, but she did. And honestly, it's really great to see. It really shows how much they are trying to make an effort to
Yep.
they are really trying to make an effort to actually, make things fair. And I just really hope that like the reception this has gotten so far they can take into account into BB26 because I think that again if they had comps like this I think it would just be much more exciting. But anyway, let's get to the naughty list here and what Britney does decide to do, which we get some of the best moments of the episode just from the segment where we
Oh yeah.
see
So good.
Brittany's very excited to have won, but now also has to create an enemy, which doesn't sound like a great time. Doesn't sound like what she thought this power would be. She's been bamboozled. Would love to have a word with Santa. She thinks she'd be crazy to not give this disadvantage to someone who would beat her in a challenge. So Nicole goes to her, and we get this funny moment where she tells her not to give her the disadvantage. Brittany says that she won't because she's not an idiot. She says the fact of the matter is the two of them and the rest of the girls are better together. Then if they fraction off, and Nicole agrees and says she isn't going after her as the boys are a huge threat in this game. And it's
Yes.
like, is this Nicole speaking? Is she
Right?
serious about this?
She's like, hell yeah. She's like, I'm going after the men this time.
I kept waiting for the moment where she was going to be like, psych, I'm still here for the guys. And it doesn't happen. And I was very happy to
I
see
remember
that.
because I remember in 18 too, she started out with the Fatal 5 and then that went downhill quick.
Yeah, and then she had the 8-pack, which was like not great either, which didn't really last either. But I mean,
No.
that was more because of like I blame that more on like Tiffany and Davon going after each other. That's really
Yeah.
what hurt that. It wasn't so much Nicole.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's really what hurt that. But that's a whole different thing. But like generally, I was just really happy to see this. This is what we wanted her to do in Big Brother 22. Is like align with like Janelle and Davon and Bailey and all of them. And it seems like she is doing that here. So Frankie and Cody are close, and that's the scary duo. Oh, you just read that. Oh, Frankie and Cody are close. That's the scary duo. I thought you were reading for a second. But Nicole says
No.
that Cody really betrayed her the last time they were in a game together. So the fact that he and Frankie are close, either one could get the disadvantage, and she thinks that would be really good for her game. So Danielle then comes in, says whatever they both want, she's good with. Brittany asks what she's thinking. Danielle says that Cody, Cameron, and Xavier are all really good at competitions, and Brittany says it's a brawl. Tells her it involves muscles, and that's called a brawl and not a bra for a reason.
That was funny.
Again, just iconic moment from Britney.
Oh yeah.
She says that she really wants this decision to make it seem like it came from the collective rather than her own original idea. So if she can pass some of the blame on literally anyone else, that'd be great. And I do think she successfully ends up doing that here. I think that she puts herself in a really good spot early on. So she's going to kick off meetings in her power lair next to the bathroom. I love the moment where she talked about it was the bathroom. We heard like the toilet flush and things like that.
Great.
That was a really funny moment. And we get like this incredible montage where she talks to all of the guys and just her responses to them. It was like a roast. Like that's basically what this was. It was a roast.
I will say my favorite DR is hers, one of Xavier.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. So she talks to Cam, asks what he wants to do, and Cam he gives a lot of this like he usually does. He seems kind of not really into it. Very short answers, and he says that he doesn't want to be given whatever the thing is, but it would be cool to work with him. And again, you just see that Cam is like just completely out of his element here. Like this is not the same kind of cast he dealt with on 25 at all. And Brittany says that most of these people, it's the first conversation she's ever had with them. Cam just got out of the BB25 house, and that is evident. He's looking tired, haggard, and mentally exhausted, and looks like he's losing sleep about whatever went wrong on BB25. So he's just, not really. And I mean, I agree. Like, he definitely seems like he's like kind of checked out. So I agree with her on that.
He's probably like, why did I accept this? I'm so tired.
Well, I mean, literally, like, he was hanging out with a BB25 cast last night. So, like,
I know.
he's not thinking about this at all, I'm sure. But so she then talks to Josh, who says he feels good with her. She agrees. He says any way they can look out for each other, he will. Brittany says that she actually, for some reason, really likes Josh, but he's on the one on Instagram that she sees flipping tractor tires and pushing dumpsters for fun. So she's very intimidated by him physically and intimidated by the competitor he is, and a little bit of a loose cannon maniac. And again, just like, who would say this except for Brittany?
Oh, it's so good. Honestly, I feel like if anyone goes for Josh, it's gonna be Brittany.
I could see that. I could see that. I think she sees it as like Josh is someone who could go really far. He's really good with everybody. I could definitely see that happening. So
Same.
her next interaction is with Cody, who it's her first time meeting him as well. He's a huge contender for this disadvantage between just being known to be a very physical, competitive guy. He also feels really warm and a really nice guy, which is the perfect formula for winning one of these games. Lost me, as she said, really nice guy, but that's a whole other different story. But he asks what she's thinking. She says that she thinks she's just going to take a consensus and take the votes and just be the polling place and announce the results of the poll. Cody doesn't know how to feel about this because it's literally the most cryptic thing she could have said. But I love this. I love that she has him like freaking out. Like she didn't say what he wanted her to say. Again, I love seeing Cody have to scramble. I love seeing him not in this dominant position that we've seen him in.
Like before this, he's never been evicted. He was runner-up and winner.
He's always had an easy time too. He's always had people that have wanted to work with him, and this is the first time he's had any sort of like adversity in the house, and it's great to see. Because he hasn't had to do that. So she then talks to Xavier, and this is where we get probably the funniest moment, where she tells him that there isn't really anyone here from seasons she competed on. She feels a little bit on the out. So her ask for people, she does not disadvantage that they would just take note of that. And Xavier just says a lot of just, yeah.
He's just like agreeing.
Just a lot of just filler words. And
he's Brittany like, yeah, sure, He's just like smiling and nodding. Sure.
So Brittany says when she talks to Xavier, he serves up a big bowl of air with no meat, substance, or anything to take. Just keep saying yeah, but no real original thoughts at all. So yeah, not into.
Honestly, like this conversation is like when you're watching dead air on our podcast.
Yeah. Honestly, this is what makes me think Xavier's not going to go very far. He doesn't seem to be doing as good of a job socially. He doesn't seem to be insulating himself as well. Like, yes, he has that alliance, but I feel like that's all he has right now. I think beyond that, like, there aren't a lot of people that like actively want to work with him, and I think that's going to be a problem. So,
yeah, he's definitely like collateral damage.
Yeah, he's the person that they take out if the person they want doesn't go. So,
yeah, definitely.
Frankie talks to her saying that it's very cool to do this in real life. She asks what he would do. He mentions the big guys and how they wouldn't be mad at her. They'll just think it's fine. And I think what he says is great here. Him saying that, like, yeah, go for the big guys. They want to prove they can survive. Everyone's a fucking winner. And she mentions how Xavier didn't win, which Frankie says he thinks that he did. Won the cookout. She's shocked about that. That was a really funny moment. But no, I think this is good from Frankie. He's not making it seem like he's with Cody. He's trying to separate himself from him. Yeah. He's really trying to focus on his own game. And I think that's something he didn't do as well in 16. He made it no secret. He was good with Zach. He was good with Derek. He was good with the guys. But this season, he's realizing he kind of has to branch out more. And that makes me think Frankie actually does have a lot of potential to go far here. So.
Oh, yeah. He's like definitely like honestly killing it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of him, but so far I'm actually pretty impressed by him.
Yeah. So she then talks to Taylor, who is glad that she won that. And Brittany tells her that she's obviously not going to disadvantage a girl. Taylor asks what the guys are telling her and if it sounds like lip service, which Brittany says that Xavier basically said nothing. And Brittany asks Taylor what she would do. And Taylor just immediately just like goes for the jugular and says Cody.
Oh, yeah.
So, and again, like I said, this is a very different Taylor than the Taylor we saw in 24. And I'm very happy for that.
Honestly, we love how like so direct and blunt she is here.
Yeah, like she's literally like giving villain energy, and I'm here for it. So,
oh yeah.
Brittany tells her that he's really nice, but Taylor asks if she wants to go far in the game. Brittany tells her thanks, and her stress levels are higher now. She tells Taylor making an enemy is the last thing that she needs. And Taylor says that it seems like Britney's thinking about giving Xavier the disadvantage. She needs to pump the brakes a little bit, and she needs X to not only be an ally, but also a weapon for her. Cody's at the top of her hit list because people let him slip through the cracks and get too far in the game, and then he's winning his way to the end. So she needs to cut this gingerbread man at his legs, off at his legs right now. And Britney says it's a really hard thing to do because Cody's obviously very physical, and then Xavier also is very physically fit and active. So she's going to put a disadvantage on someone who in return could do the same to her. And so far, the Christmas surprises are neither fun nor festive. So yeah, Britney is not loving this, but the bells then ring and Britney then makes her decision. And she does decide to put Cody on the naughty list, and which we love because again, Cody's never really faced any sort of close calls in the Big Brother house. There's never been a point where Cody was on his way out the door in the Big Brother house. And finally, he's not in a great spot here. So he's not surprised. He does seem okay with it. Jokingly saying he was really good this year. I thought that was honestly a funny moment where he's like, I was really good this year. I guess Santa didn't tell you. So yeah, that's what happens with that. But with that said, Allie's going to talk a little bit about the Jingle Bell Brawl.
All right. So Britney says Cody is obviously an amazing competitor. The fact his name came up so much, people are clearly very intimidated by him. However, she's worried about getting blowback from all of the people she's close friends with in addition to him.
Yeah.
And then Nicole is happy Cody got the disadvantage because maybe now this will level the playing field.
I love her disdain for Cody.
Good.
It's so fun to watch.
So good. And then
it's giving like Katura and Bruce.
Honestly, it's so good. Taylor feels this game is going exactly how she wants it to. She doesn't want to get too cocky, but is feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And then Cody talks about how Britney put him on the naughty list, and he was good all year. She mentioned she was trying to take a house poll, so it's going to be interesting to figure out who is mentioning his name. He's not going to let the disadvantage hinder him, and will be winning the Jingle Bell Brawl.
Well, we'll see about that.
So it's then time for the Jingle Bell Brawl.
Yep. And again, it was another very not physical challenge, which I loved.
We stand. So Jordan tells them the winner of this challenge will not only be given safety for the day.
I'm going to stop you. That's not monotone enough.
Jordan tells them that the winner of this challenge will not only be given safety for the day, but also will have a huge responsibility. They will earn the power to play a crucial role in deciding who will be going home.
Spot on. Spot on. And so, I will say, I love this. I love this a lot. I think that this is a really good way to still incorporate strategy. You're not just winning a comp. You also have this big responsibility and basically being HOH, but not like evicting people. That's basically what this is. Like it is HOH, but you're also not evicting somebody. You're basically just letting, like, it's almost like if there was HOH and then the veto determined who went. Like that's the best way to sum this up.
Oh yeah. Also, I dropped my phone, so that's fun.
Oh, that's fun.
So Britney feels this is very important, knowing safety is on the line, as she put herself at the disadvantage by giving someone else one. So it might be the best idea for her to just try to win safety because she feels like she's already made a little bit of a target of herself.
Yes.
They are then told what the challenge will be. There is a massive backup at the North Pole post office. The letters to Santa have stopped being delivered without these letters. Santa has no idea what presents kids all over the world want for Christmas. So he needs their assistance delivering the mail. Everyone needs to head to their mailbox deep in the candy cane forest. With their help, they will get the North Pole mail back on track. On the sound of the Christmas bell, they are to grab one of their letters, race across the candy cane bridge, and once there, they have a big decision to make because they must place their letter in another player's mailbox.
Yes.
They can either give all their letters to one player or distribute them amongst many. It's completely up to them. Once they have delivered all their letters to the central sorting station, they must then take any letters to the other players they have given them and deliver them one at a time and deliver them one at a time to their starting mailbox.
Oh, I don't know why I wrote that twice. Hold on.
It's all good. We know what we mean. Yes. So the more letters given to a specific player, the more trips they will have to make.
Yeah, and I mean this is probably where Jordan was at her worst in terms of hosting. Like there was a point
Mhm.
where she's supposed to like excitedly say like Cameron's in the lead, and instead it was like Cameron's in the lead. Everybody's targeting Cameron. Like you really don't want to be here. Like
I
it's
know.
obvious.
She's like, "I'm not the host girl."
Yeah.
So, since Brittany earned the nice advantage, she will start with one less envelope in her mailbox, and then since
Mhm.
Cody earned the naughty disadvantage, that envelope is already in his mailbox, meaning he already has a trip to make.
Yeah. What did you think about this comp?
Oh, I thought it was really cool. It was like really
Yeah.
fun to watch. It was entertaining. It could get very
Yeah.
intense, like especially with like what happens and everything. And it was obviously fair too, so that was great. And
It
it's like
felt very
this is like a very authentic comp. It could like anybody could win, literally.
it felt very old school. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I think definitely I think definitely they did a good job with like yes, it's still physical because you're walking across the balance beam, but that's
Mhm.
not really what it's about. It's more about just like not getting letters in your box and things like that. And
Exactly.
I think especially like doing this a little bit later in the season is like really intense to do. Doing it
Mhm.
early, I think really sets the tone for like what happens. So I think it was
Agreed.
really cool that they did it so early on.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So, the first player to deliver all their letters and then re-deliver all the ones given to them and hit their button will win safety at the first jingle bell. Brawl. I keep saying ball. It's
Allie
literally like
really
a
wants to
tongue
go to the dance.
it's like a tongue twister,
It's really not, but
kind of. So,
sure.
Nicole notices Cody is putting letters in her mailbox, and then he then mocks her in his confessional. That was pretty funny.
That was his best moment of the episode, I will say. It was very
Mock
funny.
he just mocks her, Michigan accent.
Yeah.
So, as a result, Cody's letters start piling up, and then Cameron also gets a lot. I mean, as they should. Go for the white
Oh,
man.
yeah. Yes. Get him out of there.
Josh feels everyone targeting Cameron makes the most sense since they know he's a strong competitor and someone they also don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense because, like, again, he should not he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit with everybody
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Xavier says the
It's
challenge.
literally David on Big Brother 22 all over again. Like, why do they keep bringing people back that don't fit?
Exactly. So, Xavier says the challenge is designed for people to show their cards and who they're targeting and who they're working with, and everyone is shoving letters in Cam's mailbox, so he follows suit.
Yep.
Cameron says he needs to do everything he's supposed to do, keep his balance and keep moving. He's been fangirling all day, but it's time to focus in and show them that he belongs, and says they all got to be out of mail by now.
That was probably his funniest moment is when he
It
said
was.
that.
He definitely has like funny moments. He's just very unlikable.
Yeah.
So Brittany feels everyone has sent him hate mail. He has no capacity to send any more, so she decides to send her letters to Cody. Taylor is targeting Cody and hopes him and Cam have the most amount of letters in their box. So whoever wins, if it isn't her, will look at them as two easy targets in the end.
Yep.
Also, honestly, Taylor and Cody are another rivalry that's iconic.
Yeah, well, that really starts at the end of this episode, but yeah.
hmm So Cody is surprised she's going near his mailbox as he wasn't even going near hers.
Hmm.
There's a moment where Cody falls off the balance beam and Nicole is happy about it. Okay, that was so funny. It
That
was
was
just
the moment that solidified that I might actually like Nicole this season is when she was like laughing about it.
oh, she was like, that's so mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought it was so funny how he fell. It was just
And they kept replaying it too. It was so good.
I don't know why it just made me laugh so much.
It was great.
Oh yeah. So after a lot of distributing letters, mostly to Cam and Cody's way, it comes down to Taylor and Frankie, with Frankie winning, who is now safe for the round and will also get to choose which two players will be sent to the first Santa showdown.
Yeah, Frankie winning this, I'm not too surprised about. Like I said, I think he's
Same.
very good at comps, and I think that,
Mhm.
this is definitely something that like sets him up pretty well, I think. It's also, I like seeing a scenario where you have both sides winning. This is why,
Yes.
equitable comps are exciting because on one hand you have Britney winning who's targeting Cody. Now you have Frankie winning who's working with Cody. Like that's
I know,
that's
right?
exciting. I like that.
It's
Give
just
me
like
more of
not
that.
like obviously As much as we're not fans of Frankie and Cody, it's still very exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's more exciting to watch when you have both sides like winning stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like this is the equivalent of Cody was the house target and then Frankie won veto and used it on Cody.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what this is. That's what this is basically. Like if that's if you're going by Big Brother, which is not Big Brother, it's a different game. But like that's what this is.
Exactly. So whoever he sends will be at risk of going home, with the loser being out with no chance of going to the Reindeer games, ending their shot at the 100K grand prize. So he will be putting 2 players' games in jeopardy.
Again, not monotone enough.
So Frankie says the lodge is filled with threats and he needs to figure out how to get one of them out, but protect himself in the process and minimize his exposure for retaliation.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal with this. Like you need to make sure you set yourself up. So like,
I think strategically, it's like the 2 people like the most strategic right now are probably Taylor and Frankie.
Yeah, I think so.
Just because and then socially, I mean, it'd probably go with Nicole, honestly.
Also Britney.
Also Britney and also Josh.
Yeah, I think Josh, Britney, and Nicole get that. I think I would also say Danielle is very strategic.
Oh yeah,
very under the radar.
Under the radar, villainous strategic.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna cut all of you.
Yeah.
So
Cody what's the adjective, like under the radar positive or something like that? Yeah.
I think so. So Cody says he really wanted to win this challenge for himself, but Frankie winning is perfect as he's his number 1 in this game and he knows he's gonna take care of him, so he couldn't be happier.
And this is, again, what's just so annoying about Cody. Like, he's just always going to work with BB16 people. Like, they're going to be in the game. He's going to work with them. It's very frustrating.
So Brittany saying Cody winning would have been the worst case scenario, but Frankie winning she feels pretty good with, thinking she'll be okay, and doesn't feel he's targeting her, and she will survive another day in the lodge.
Yes.
X is feeling uneasy about Frankie winning this since he doesn't know him that well, and he did put a card in his slot, and he's hoping he's looking at someone else. And he thinks who he'll select will ultimately come down to what he thinks is best for him moving forward. Cam feels he's on a lot of people's radar after this comp, and that's pretty scary. He doesn't want to be picked or go home on the first day. And then this was really funny where Frankie tells them everyone must prance after him, which no one does.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff with Frankie that I can't stand, is when he's always like being just being just very like obnoxious and doing stuff like that. I love that everyone's like, we're not doing that, Frankie. No one's prancing. So we go to the post brawl here. Cody, and there's a lot of spicy stuff that happens here. So Cody congratulates Frankie on winning, says when they walked into that, he knew it was going to be perfect. Frankie says they're both targets, and he's, meaning Cody, has been called out, and the rest of the house, he doesn't know he's going to keep like everybody happy. Nicole then comes in, asks if they're coming after her this week. Cody jokingly says if he would have won, he would have put her down. They both assure that they're joking, and this should have been a sign. Here's the thing. This should have been a sign that Nicole's not really with them. But again, like it just kind of shows like how well she's playing that they don't recognize that. So
yeah, she's honestly like a very underrated player.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely say when Nicole is good, she's really good. And this is a really good example of that. I think she just, the way she played in 22 didn't really make sense. But
agreed.
Frankie tells her that to him, this is special. Walking into the house and seeing her, he'd be very happy to play the game with the two of them. To me, if I have this conversation with Frankie, this is bullshit. Like the way you're talking to me right now is bullshit. He literally is like, Nicole, this is special. I'm so happy we're together. I want us so badly to work together. Like you are so full of shit right now. Like I know exactly what you're doing. Like don't even try it. And so I'm glad Nicole didn't fall for it. He says, seeing her, he'd be very happy to play the game with the two of them, redo season 16, and will not be sending her to the showdown. Nicole says she will be using her BB16 card since her, Frankie, and Cody all play together. She wants to act like they'll all still be best friends because even though she is targeting them, she doesn't want Frankie to put her in Santa's showdown. Nothing says the holidays like backstabbing. She's got to do what she's got to do. And again, I really love that Nicole is just fully embracing that villain role. That's what we've all kind of wanted from her. So
good. Fantastic.
Frankie then asks them who he should send. Nicole says she doesn't know. Cody tells him he wants to be able to beat these people down the line, which Frankie agrees, says he needs to start sending strong people home immediately. He says he definitely wants to send 2 very strong competitors into Santa's showdown and send one of them home. He just has to figure out which 2. So he goes into Santa's office and rings his bell for someone to join. He's got to ring the bell. Wrong show, but I just had to do that. So Danielle then comes in. She asks him what his plan is, and he says everyone was stuffing Cameron's box, so he feels like that's pretty easy, right? It's going to be Cameron. He asks her who he puts him up against, and she asks who can beat him, which he says Cody, Xavier, and Josh. So she tells him either 3 she supports. So Danielle's feeling really good about this, hoping if he can go after one of the guys, it's a win-win for her. He's doing her dirty work, and she won't have to do anything at the end of this show. She isn't expecting a lot of Christmas presents, but it's okay.
That was funny.
So Cameron then tells Cody that it's a solid chance it's going to be one of them. Cody agrees it's very possible. Cam says that...
I will say this conversation was just so...
Oh, yeah, it was very boring. He says he likes Frankie. He feels pretty good with him, but he also doesn't. Cody tells him he has a pretty good relationship with Frankie because outside of the house, they're pretty close, so he thinks it may save him a little bit. Frankie then talks to Nicole, says that she's fine. They need to get the big, strong guys out. He says Cody is another strong player in the house, but thinks he is going to keep them, and he asks if they're fine, which she says yes. Frankie tells her he doesn't think Cody is coming for him, and Nicole says she doesn't want to pitch Cody at all, when in reality, she does. Again, like, Nicole's just really kind of killing it in terms of, like, making Frankie think that she's with them. So Danielle, Xavier, and Taylor talk. X asks if they feel good about Frankie, and Danielle says no, because she always feels nervous. And Xavier says he thinks him and Danielle are the only ones who put letters in his mailbox. Josh then comes in asking if they talked to him. Xavier asks how he's feeling, that he didn't put anything in his, and Josh assures them all of his letters went to Cameron. So Cameron then talks to Frankie, and Frankie asks why he got so many envelopes in his box. Cameron says he's got to go. He's going to go with a little bit of the rookie hazing the new guy, but he's cool with it. And Cam keeps talking about this, and I feel like he just, like, yes, that's a problem, but we've actually seen that work to great effect before in games where people have been like the new person and they're still able to do relatively well. I believe the first All-Stars is a really good example of that. You had a lot of people from BB6 in there, but they ended up doing really well. David in BB22, horrible player, but he ended up making jury. So I feel like Cameron should have just not been talking about this constantly. I think he could have made a lot more like solid connections, and he just didn't. He didn't. I've said this.
He said things like, "Oh, I feel good with this person," but he just did not have those connections.
I've said this from the beginning with BB25. He is a horrible social player, and he really proves that in this. He really proves that in this time he's on Reindeer games.
Like, sometimes he has good strategy, but he's obviously good at comps, but like that's it.
Oh, I think strategy-wise, he's really good. I think the problem with him, he just doesn't know how to talk to people. Like, I generally think that's what it is. Like, he's very dry. He gives off that very, like, off-putting energy. A lot of the time, it just seems like he doesn't really know what to say. So I just feel like unless he's in power, he just doesn't really know what to do. And we kind of see that here.
Exactly.
So he tells Frankie he plays hard, which Frankie respects tremendously. Frankie tells him he wants hard competitors in the end and wants Reindeer games to be crazy. He tells him that they could help each other in the game, which Cam says that he'd love that. Frankie tells him he might be hearing his name a lot, and
like,
he's trying to figure
out. All Cameron wants is he's just for the men.
Yeah, he's here for the men and he's here for the comps. Like, that's literally all it is. And there's no Rileys or Americas, so there's no one for him to like, obsess over. So
for sure.
He's trying to figure out how to get the least amount of blood in his hands on day one. Cam then tells him if he's thinking of keeping strong competitors down to the end and keeping his name off of everyone's radar. Having already won the big challenge, it's going to be tough, so the blood's already there, which Frankie agrees with, and Cam tells him that he'll do whatever he needs him to do. So, again, just not a very good pitch at all. Frankie says that Cameron is such a sweetheart. He really does want to look out for him, but unfortunately, he's kind of already been branded as the outcast of this lodge. His mailbox was more stuff than he is after Christmas dinner. He has to send him into Santa's showdown, but is unsure who to send with him. So Cam says he's done this song and dance before. He catches the eerie feeling that Frankie is leaning towards putting him in Santa's showdown. He's got to let him know that he's someone that he would like to work with, not go ahead and get gone, which again, he really doesn't do that here. He doesn't prove that to him. He doesn't give him much. So he talks to Xavier and says a lot of people put envelopes in Cam's slot, but so he's considering that. And Xavier says and again, Xavier does not do a good job with this conversation at all, I thought. He says that he wants to see that they can work for as long as possible. And he says he's going to talk with the house and see what everyone else is thinking. He asks who he's thinking for the second spot. Frankie says someone who could beat him because he doesn't want him to come back as he's very strong. Xavier asks if he'd feel good with him. Frankie says he does. And Xavier just says, oh, I hope we have the chance to work together. Keep me safe and I'll give you the opportunity to repay that. Like just very general, basic stuff. Like, again, just Xavier is just not doing a great job.
I love Xavier so much as a person, but like, yeah, he just doesn't give much. He's just, literally, it's such air.
Yeah, it's like really not great. So he says after talking to Frankie, he feels better, but he doesn't think he gave him any assurances that he isn't going into Santa Showdown, but he's hoping he doesn't have to see it. But you also didn't give him a pitch. All you said is, I hope we can work together. That's all you said. It's not enough.
Nope.
So bad. Britney then asks Cody how he's doing. He says he feels good, but he thinks he's an easy person to go after. She says it's because he's so good, but in a way it's a compliment, even though it doesn't feel like it. Cody then says he's not at all worried that Frankie's going to throw him into Santa Showdown, but he has to put this face on because the last thing he ever wants is Frankie and himself going down and facing off against each other in Santa Showdown, which... LMAO, because of something that happens later. We can't get into it now, but very funny. Very funny. Very funny in hindsight. So Taylor then asks Frankie how he is with Cody, and he says he feels like taking a shot at Cody day one is wild and crazy. And Taylor literally says, like, when do you want to do it? Day 3 at the Reindeer games? Like, again, Taylor is just in, like, full cutthroat mode, and it is so good.
She's so good. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she says there are people in this house that if he doesn't take a shot day 1, day 2, or day 3, they will be playing reindeer games and leaving his ass behind. And he says she's 100% right, and he's in the running. And she asks who else he's considering, and he says Cameron or X or Josh. And she says she doesn't want to put Xavier in jeopardy now, at least not yet. Frankie then gives this incredibly hypocritical DR where he says that he's shocked to see she has an alliance on day 1, even though he literally has one himself. Like, what do you mean you're surprised? Yeah. So he says sorry to Taylor, but he's not going to send his number 1 to go in a Santa Showdown, but good to know she has a number 1 of her own. So he's trying to protect, and that she's trying to protect, and he will be filing that away for future reference later. So Cody and Frankie then talk, and Cody tells him that it was kind of eye-opening for him to see how many he got from multiple people. Frankie tells him that it's scary because people are pitching him and says it's not the boys because they've been very quiet. He tells him that no one is really given names, which Cody can't imagine Nicole is saying his name to him, which Frankie says she's not. She's really here for the BB16 thing, which again, just such good work from Nicole. The way that she's like completely really snowed them into thinking that she has them. It's just so good. So he then tells Cody that it's Taylor, but it's because she's trying to protect X. And yeah, so now Cody knows Taylor's coming for him. And Cody says that he can understand Taylor putting letters in his mailbox, but now hearing she's trying to throw his name in the fire for Santa Showdown is really surprising him because he and Taylor were building a really good rapport all day long. It kind of makes her feel like she may have been one of the people throwing his name out to Britney early on, and he feels like he's been underestimating her, and he's not doing that anymore and has her eye on her, which, first of all, underestimating Taylor in 2023 couldn't be me. Did we not just watch an entire season of Taylor's karma and seeing her, people constantly go at the behest of her and, you know, them saying something about Taylor and then them ended up going because of her? Like, the fact that he underestimates her is just a testament to just how cocky Cody has gotten as a player, thinking he knows all.
I mean, we're not shocked he underestimates her because he literally said some shitty things on the podcast.
Yeah, literally. I mean, this was so great to see because it's kind of him realizing, oh, wait, she is a good player. Wait, she is capable of cutting people's throats. She is capable of doing all this stuff. Like he's going to go back to what he said on that podcast and be like, wait, no, I misjudged her. Like he literally, I think it's so funny how he started out 2023 basically, getting his throat cut by a very powerful black woman, and he's ending 2023 getting his throat cut by a very powerful black woman. Also, we love that.
DM Rock says, I'm liking Nicole on here. She's actually trying to work with the women. She really is.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm liking Nicole a lot more. Like she's actually doing what I want her to do, and she's playing really well, I think.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, like again, where was this Nicole in All
Literally
Stars?
I think
So
the
good.
3 villains so far are Taylor, Nicole, and Danielle.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, very exciting stuff. But with that said, let's talk about Santa Showdown.
All right. So after thinking long and hard about it, Frankie does decide to send in Cameron and Xavier to compete in Santa's Showdown. He tells them he's sorry for having to do this to them. It's such a fast game, and they barely had time to really get a chance to know each other. So his decision today is based on the fact that Cameron had the most envelopes in their boxes. It's not personal or petty, but Xavier put an envelope in his box, so it made this decision all that more easy.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think that definitely like is the most strategic reasoning that he could have
And also,
given.
all the women are safe.
Yes, we love that.
And especially because like it went 5-4, like for with the guys having one more, so now it's gonna be
Yeah.
4-4.
And I don't think he would have gone after like the women.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So Cameron says he's not surprised, but he is juiced up. This is the first Santa Showdown, and he's facing off with who he believes is to be one of the best competitors Big Brother has ever seen in Xavier. And if he wants to see a showdown, he called in the right 2 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier says Frankie's decision isn't surprising. This is a very sped up game, and he hasn't had any time to cultivate a real relationship with Frankie, so there's only so many options, so it makes sense as to why he threw him down there. But it still sucks, and he'll be damned if he's the first person to go home. Cam seems like a great guy. He's got to make it to the Reindeer game, so he's going down.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Xavier just not doing a great job like making connections with people. That's really his biggest issue.
Mm-hmm. So it's time for the first Santa Showdown. For this competition, the 2 of them will be facing off in a puzzle comp where they will need to build a Yeti sweater and in the fastest time. Whoever does so will win and survive the day, continuing their quest to reindeer games. That one was actually really fun to watch. I like it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, again, this was a very not super physical comp. It literally was just doing puzzle. I agree with people have said this felt very Survivor. Like that's what this felt like.
Yeah.
Especially with like heavy bag full of puzzle pieces and things like that. Like this was very Survivor-esque.
Oh, definitely.
Like is Carson gonna 3D print this one as well?
It'd be so funny. So there's a funny moment where Cameron is pulling his hair back and X pretends to do the same thing. Oh my god, that was
great.
So funny.
I love that. Where he was just like,
he's just like, I'm just gonna pretend to fix my hair. So Britney is actually rooting for Cameron in this comp, knowing he's on an island and he doesn't have any relationships in the lodge, so she feels like going forward he could potentially be more workable.
Which is literally the same exact thing we heard in 25. Like people wanted to work with Cam because he was all alone, and he's still all alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please explain to me how he's a legend. Please explain it to me.
Not. So Danielle tells the both of them they are doing way better than Caitlyn, which was hilarious.
It was great.
Oh my god. In an incredibly not at all close comp, Xavier wins Santa's Showdown and will continue his quest to the Reindeer games.
Yeah, it wasn't close at all. Like Cam was so far behind. It was like obviously Xavier was gonna win.
Mm-hmm. So he is stoked to win and hopes people think twice before throwing him in there. This means Cameron is the first person eliminated from Reindeer games and also has once again gotten 9th place.
Yeah, and let's just talk about...
He was the 9th person revealed too.
He also, including the show, has been a contender to go home every week. He has not been in power, which is like insane. Like again, please explain how Cameron is a legend. Every time he was
such a bad social player.
Yeah. Every time he was eligible to be nominated or evicted, he was. Like literally every time. Please explain to me again how he's a good player. I don't get it.
So Jordan tells him Santa wants to thank him for giving it his best, so he must choose one of the gifts from under the tree. Some of the gifts contain $5,000 and Santa's favorite fruitcakes, but he ends up yuck. So he ends up opening a year subscription to the Jelly Club, which was funny when everyone was groaning.
Oh yeah.
So Frankie says he thinks he's the first person to be evicted 3 times in 2 months. That's just
I
pretty
don't
funny.
I don't think that's true because Victor,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Maybe
he's up there,
maybe he forgot about that. I don't know.
probably.
So Cameron gives a little retrospective, saying he is sad to have lost, but he walks away with 8 new family members. This was such an amazing experience, rivaled by none. He has all the confidence in the North Pole that his reindeer family will save Christmas. He doesn't know who will come home, but he can't wait to tell his tales about the North Pole.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, this was best case scenario. Cameron just
Yeah,
honestly should not have been there. I don't think he fit in with this cast at all.
he
I don't
doesn't.
think he is anywhere near the level of the caliber of this cast. I mean, everyone on this cast either won or almost won. That's
Oh yeah.
everyone on this cast has that like to them. And
Mhm.
Cam left the game. Yes, he got ninth. Yes, he was the first juror, but again, he was evicted. He
Mhm.
came back, was evicted literally a week after he was HOH. Like,
Yeah.
and now here he just again just seemed very checked out. It just seemed
Yeah,
like
he
he
was
didn't
literally
really,
literally he was just there to me.
yeah. It just didn't seem like he put the effort in that he needed to. And so I'm kind of fine with him going because I think
Same.
everyone else that's there is just far more deserving of it. So him
Yeah,
going,
they're also
probably the best.
way more entertaining.
Yeah, like he was really trying with like the Christmas puns, but it was not happening.
It
I'm
was not
very
working.
fine with him
It
going.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Danielle says that the first Santa showdown was super intense. She doesn't want to go down there ever. She's trying to stay there to the end to get to the reindeer games. So they
Yes,
can keep
please
her out
do.
of please. So they can keep her out of that showdown. She doesn't want to have nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Frankie says he got his Christmas wish and Cam is out of the lodge, but he's really got to hope that his decision to save Xavier into Santa's showdown doesn't elf him over. He talks to Xavier saying he's sorry he put him on the spot, but it worked out because he's there. And then Xavier tells him that logically it was exactly what he should have done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think
Oh
that's,
yeah.
I think the problem now is that Xavier kind of now has this role of he's kind of like the pawn, basically, where it's like we're
He
sending
is.
you in to get somebody else out. And that's not a
Mhm.
great position to be in because
No.
all it takes is for them to put in the wrong person and then Xavier goes.
The main person
So
protecting him is Taylor.
yeah, and I think the problem is like she can only do that for so long. I think
Yeah.
Xavier is very expendable, and I don't think he's
Yeah,
gonna make it
definitely.
to the reindeer games. I think he's gonna
No,
go in like the next 2 or 3 episodes.
I think so too.
So
So Xavier understands why he sent him down. He's not happy about it, but he gets it. But looking at it, he thinks the only way he will be able to secure safety is by winning challenges. This is easily worse than Big Brother, as there is no floating with reindeer games. There's absolutely no skating by. You either are put up or go home.
yeah. And I think that's his problem. He was able to skate by his season, and he can't now.
Yep, exactly. Cody says he survived day 1 in Santa's lodge, and it feels like a huge thanks to Frankie because if some other people had their way, he would have been down there in Santa's showdown. The good news is he knows who's coming after him, and Taylor's one of those people, so she's a huge threat to him moving forward, so he needs to get on the offensive and strike first before she can get him.
Oh,
We'll see about that.
I don't know.
Taylor is ecstatic Xavier won Santa Showdown, but her number one target, Cody, is still there. She's like a kid on Christmas Eve, and she won't sleep awake until he leaves this lodge. It may be cold outside, but it's just heating up.
Oh, such a good way to end the episode all around.
Amazing.
Um,
So good.
But yeah, I mean, what a great start. Generally, what a great
Oh, yeah.
start. There's so much to love here. Like I said, I think I want to give props to the editing once again. I think
Woo.
I don't normally praise the editing on Big Brother, but the editing team, they knew what they were doing in this episode.
Yeah,
There
literally,
was
like,
no
this production was fantastic.
Yeah, there was no bullshit. Like, yes, we
Mhm.
had that stupid moment with like them all dancing and Frankie twerking at one
Yeah,
point.
and
But like,
obviously we don't like that they edited Brittany and Nicole's conversation.
Yeah, but that's really the only complaint that I have. I think everything else was like really well edited here. I have a good sense of where everybody's at. You have this alliance with like Taylor and Josh and Xavier and Danielle, where Danielle's not really for it. You have a really strong bond with like Danielle and Brittany. It seems like
I
Brittany and
know.
Nicole are working together. Nicole's kind of working with Cody and Frankie, but really not. She's targeting them.
She's
And then you
pretending
have
she's making them think
yeah.
she's with them.
And then you have Xavier, who is just kind of struggling to make those social connections. And then you had Cam, who wasn't really in anything. And so it made sense why he ended up going. So I think with 9 players, like
Honestly,
they just,
I feel like if Cam was still there, I feel like he'd work with like Cody.
yeah. I think they just have such a better idea of how to structure this, knowing that this season's already ended. They're able to have time to like figure out what do we really need to include. And I'm not saying that I want Big Brother to get rid of live feeds. That is not what I'm encouraging here at all.
No.
But what I am saying is for this format, I think this works. I think this works really well. And I do think, and I don't know if you agree with me, I do think moving forward, Big Brother should maybe look into having 90-minute episodes because seeing it here
so much better.
Worked wonders. It really did. Like I felt like I have such a better idea. It was strictly focused on gameplay. There wasn't a lot of like bullshit. There wasn't, conversations about people, with kissing like washing machines. There weren't conversations about people like doing weird shit. Like there wasn't conversations about that. This was actually like very focused on the strategy, and I just really like what we're getting here. I think the cast is so great. The comps are fun. Like this is really everything I could have wanted, and it's not even a regular Big Brother season. Again, it's crazy how much more effort they're putting into this than the actual show. Like what happens?
It's crazy, and like it's so wild. Like I'm so impressed with this show so far, and even though it's only 6 episodes, I honestly think it works.
I do too. I think the fact that it is like sped up also works really well. It's just a lot of fun to watch, So, and there, like I said, there is like a lot of strategy to it. Like, yes, the person leaves is by comps, but there is a lot of strategy here, especially because like the game's ever changing. Like the way this round is played is completely different from the way the last round was played. So, I think it's gonna be very exciting to see what happens from here. There's a lot of interesting developments, like Cody and Taylor's rivalry. I'm really excited to see the way Taylor is playing this game. I love. She's like I said, so much more cutthroat and like kind of giving this like villainous sort of strategy, and it's working out really well for her. I think.
Oh yeah,
Britney, I think, is in such a good position as well. I think she won the she won the naughty or nice, and she ended up just really putting herself in a strong position with Danielle. I honestly could see those 3 kind of running the game at this point with the way things are going. And then I think Frankie and Josh are kind of like dark horses right now. I could see either of them kind of going far. And then there's Nicole, who, like I said, I'm really liking a lot, and I'm excited to see, where this all ends up going. Is she going to continue to be villainous? Is she going to continue to work with the girls? Or is she going to do what she does and eventually just decide to work with the guys? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, overall, I mean, this is great so far, and I hope it continues to be great. I'm not used to being so excited about Big Brother and talking about it in a positive manner all across the board and not having something to shit on. But when the only thing I can shit on is Jordan Lloyd's terrible hosting, you're doing something right.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's like insane. But I'm so excited for the rest of the season. Obviously, I'm honestly glad we just covered episode 1 because like it probably would have taken us like 3 or 4 hours to do the first 2.
Yeah, I also hope every episode is this long because it's so much better.
Oh yeah, so we'll probably.
I know the 3 episodes they recently changed them to they recently changed them to 90 minutes. But I think I hope the rest of the episodes also are.
I hope so too. And so yeah, we'll probably cover the next episode probably tomorrow, and then. Which I'm very excited to watch, because I've only seen, like, clips on Twitter so far, a few little things, but I'm just really excited to watch it. And honestly, I'm excited for the rest of the season because
Me too.
It's gonna be fun, and we're gonna try and do some live reacts. It just depends on our schedules.
Not Thursday, unfortunately, because one of us works. So
I
you know,
know. Unless I get lucky and have to work the morning shift, but
yeah, we'll
we'll
see.
see.
The morning shift, is that like the morning show? No, we don't talk about that show right now. We do
Oh
not like
yeah.
Juliana Margulies.
Oh
But
no, 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 no.
yeah, that's a different discussion. But anyway, I think we should probably plug some things if you want to do that.
All right. So stay tuned for our ongoing recap of Survivor. We'll do last week's episode probably tomorrow. And
Yeah.
then we might do the next one live or might not. Who knows? Maybe we'll just do the last week's and this week's together.
I'm probably
We'll
seeing the
see.
Iron Claw tomorrow, so probably not. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
we can always do if we can only we could just do last week's and this week's together, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll figure it out. And then
Mhm.
obviously other than that, we just have reindeer games so far. And then
Yeah.
House of Villains and the Traders, obviously, we're just gonna end up doing those season reviews at this point, and
Yeah.
everything else. We'll probably do those maybe start them in January or February when we don't have
Yeah.
as much to watch. Like when Survivor and Big Brother Rainier games are done, we'll probably just do our season reviews kind of in our free time. But yeah, other than that, it's exciting. Obviously, Big Brother Canada 12 is coming back next year.
Yes.
I totally forgot to send an app.
Well,
maybe
we know
maybe another
one
time.
person's not going to be on the cast.
Hopefully they bring back live feeds.
I hope so. Please do not take the wrong lessons from Big Brother Reindeer games. Please give us live feeds. We are not saying we don't want live feeds. What we are saying is that this works well without them. This is
Exactly.
fine without them. And also,
Yeah,
you
only
can't do
Reindeer
live feeds with this format. They're not in the house. They don't live in the
exactly.
house.
They could, but it doesn't really work as well.
If they did, it would be just a little bit, and then the rest of it would be dead air, basically.
Yeah, or just put seasons of other seasons or whatever.
Yeah. But at that point, you have a Paramount Plus subscription, you can do that elsewhere. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
subscribing to live feeds to watch seasons you can watch on its own?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for this. We did talk about before, Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour came out recently on VOD. I have not watched it yet. I know you said you wanted to potentially do a video about that, so we might be doing that as well.
Yeah, that would be fun because it's right here. It is up on Apple TV to buy for $19.89, which is really funny.
I will not be buying it right now because I don't have much money. So
we need to watch it together because there's also the 3 extra songs on it.
we will.
Long Live the Archer and Wildest Dreams.
Yes.
And obviously it's Taylor Day, so happy birthday to her.
Yes, happy birthday. Also, happy birthday to Cody Calafiore. It's his birthday
that's true.
as well.
But also stream anything with Taylor, her music, her movies, everything.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm honestly just really happy with how this went. I was honestly my expectations were literally on the floor, on the floor, Cody wiping out on the floor. And it actually turned out to be pretty good so far. And I just hope it continues to be because I think this honestly has the potential to be just such a good season and honestly really just kind of make up for how fucking All-Stars went. This is what I wanted All-Stars to be. And if they're able to maintain this, I honestly think there's a lot of potential moving forward. So I'm really excited to see how this continues to go.
I'm so stoked.
But yeah, other than that, that's it for this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let us know what you guys are thinking of reindeer games so far. And remember, couples who podcast together, stay together. We will see you guys later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.